God born the Chicky in the basket. And first birthday the Chicky. And you over here, the basket. Hey, Chicky. Oh, come here, Chicky. Okay.
In Napoli, where love is king, when boy meets girl, guess what they say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are minutes away from our special guest of the evening, Mr. Chef Brian Duffy. He's going to be calling in here in a minute, hopefully if all goes well. Welcome back to the show. Jay, are you excited about this interview? I sure as hell am.
I'm excited, and I'm kind of nervous, man. This is like a big time guy, man. He's a fellow podcaster, which intimidates me because I've listened to his show and I like what he has to represent. He's in our industry, my industry, Chuck's industry.
He's bringing food, right?
No,
yeah.
He's not coming here actually.
It's in the...
Hey, it's Brian Duffy.
Hi, Brian Duffy. How the hell are you?
Absolutely wonderful, man. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for calling, man. We're so excited. We were just talking about you.
Oh, cool, dude. I'm stoked.
Man, I got to tell you, we are big fans of the show that you appear on a lot, Bar Rescue, and we've been listening to your Road Rash podcast, and it's really good, man. We had it on all day today at everybody's house. I listened to it in my truck. Excellent stuff, man.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Chef?
What's going on, man? You know, the show actually started just as a kind of a drunk conversation between me and Russell.
Yeah.
We kind of went back and forth like, hey, man, we should do something. We had talked about pitching shows, and then it literally came down to like, let's just do a podcast, man. We can do whatever we want. We can have fun. And it started out just as that, and now and this is where it's going to sound kind of weird. So the podcast now has a branding agency. We have an illustrator, because all of our episodes at the end of every month will be illustrated into a comic book that we are going to have done in multiple languages, starting with Japanese and English. We now have we have a promoter. We have agents. My agency is actually taking over this, and we have a manager. We have lawyers. It literally started as a joke, and it blew up. It just blew up. We couldn't believe the response that we were getting, and we've had over 5,000 downloads in the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. Dude, I'm savvy on it. I've been following you for a couple of weeks myself. And
cool, man.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I got to tell you, our legal department probably has nothing on yours.
Ours is just bad.
My attorney is Donald Sutherland's attorney.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. So it works out really well for me.
I'd like to ask, are we at the level we can call you Duff Balls right now?
Hey, man, call me Duff Balls.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Yeah, I saw lots of hashtags with multiple variations of that come out last week.
I got to tell you, trying to book you on our show was actually quite easy because of your personal assistant, Jocelyn. She's very cool.
She's the total rock star, man. And
Yeah.
what you don't know is that she is a stay-at-home mom. She has 2 little girls. Devin is 2.5, and Delaney is 3.5 months.
Wow.
And just so you know, Jocelyn had the baby on Thursday, and she was home on Friday, and she was on a conference call Friday night.
That's amazing, and she's still keeping up with her work, and that's really cool. That's really good.
She's amazing. She's been with me for over 2 years, and the funny part about it is Jocelyn lives about 4 miles away from me, and we see each other maybe twice or 3 times a year.
That's hilarious you say that. I actually moved in next to my mom and dad a couple of years ago, and we have family in town, and I didn't see him for like 5 straight days.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Jocelyn's awesome. She's a huge part of my business, and I just trust her. We have a great relationship, and she's just I have her baby. I have Delaney's gift in the back of my car, which has been there for the last couple of weeks. I have to get over to see her. Plus, I have her Christmas bonus and all sorts of fun stuff for her. So yeah.
Very cool, man. Yeah, we're not making any money right now, so otherwise I'd be giving Homeless Chuck a bonus. By the way, Chef Brian, we've got Homeless Chuck to my right. We've got Pops. He's 82 years old. That's Jaybird's dad, and Jaybird's in front of me right now. That's our cast. That's our crew. We're all here,
man. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're all big fans. Chuck and Jay and I all worked together on the Sponge Docks in Tarpon Springs, And about 4 years has passed now, and you know that's where we got the idea to do something with comedy. You know, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube channel or something like that. So to be able to incorporate the restaurant industry into our comedy shows is fantastic. But to be able to get somebody like you to call in and interact with us, we're super stoked about it, man. I got to say thanks so much, man. It's so cool that you called in.
It is absolutely my pleasure, and this is what I say to whenever I meet people that I really like and they do stuff like you guys do. Anytime you guys start talking about food and you want to call me, you guys have my number. All you guys got to do is give me a call.
Dude,
text me about 2 minutes before, and I'll hop right on and have fun with you. I have a lot of friends in radio down in Tampa and down in St. Pete and all that stuff. So yeah, I do some radio. I love it, man.
Dude, I'm going to wear you out on that, but you're going to be like, all right, you're going to change.
5 o'clock.
Jay's going to be trying to throw something in the crock pot. You're going to want to know what to throw in the crock pot, and you're going to give him a call.
All right.
Well, what did I do today? Today I went to the grocery store, went to Whole Foods this morning, and I got 2.5 pound brisket. I got a 12-pound pork shoulder. Wow. And so the pork shoulder's been in the smoker since about 11 o'clock this morning, just with a little bit of my spice on it. And then I smoked my brisket for 4 hours. Then I just finished off in the oven, man. We did some really nice roasted garlic beans, did a little quinoa and some wild rice for dinner. It was good.
Dude, you must have like the most Mac Daddy kitchen at your house. No,
not at all. And if you guys ever watch my Facebook videos, I actually have a really old, really outdated kitchen. I have an electric stove. We've got I live in a house in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and the kitchen was the last thing that we did. So
That's
there's
crazy.
Nothing in the kitchen at all. There's nothing in there.
It still
now,
gets
when you
hot.
go outside, that's a different story. I've got a 6-tier Bradley smoker.
There you go. Nice.
I've got a big barrel grill. I've got sous vide. I've got a whole sous vide station downstairs in my basement. So yeah, we have some fun around here.
Well, listen, Chef, I was listening to your podcast earlier today, the Rash Podcast, and once again, everybody, we're talking with Chef Brian Duffy, famous from Bar Rescue, and the Mac Daddy brand new podcast called the Road Rash Podcast. Yeah. I was listening earlier, and you and Russell Davis were talking about, bringing out a signature dish or a signature drink, so that you could refamiliarize your staff with something that's either been on the menu for a long time or something that's new. And my question to you is how important is cost control compared to educating your staff? Is it worth, burning up some food or some liquor so that the staff can experience it and get familiar with it again? Or, I've worked for some restaurants where they say, nobody, cut the lemons real thin or something like that. What do you think about that?
Well, I listen to restaurants talk about upselling all the time. So what do we do when we talk about upselling? We bring in a wine purveyor who's going to come in, and they're going to bring in 15 different wines for our staff to try. So we're going to teach them what a Malbec is. We're going to teach them what a Pinot is. We're going to teach them what a Cab is. We're going to teach them what a Zin is. We're going to teach them all these different wines and all this other stuff. And then we're going to let them loose on the world, and we're going to say, now, go sell wine. Now, whoever sells the most bottles of wine tonight gets a $50 bonus. Now, the person who sells the most desserts this week gets a $25 bonus. But what we don't do is we don't educate our staff. Education is the key to the success of any restaurant. If you talk to your staff and you teach them and you share with them what your goals are, and you share with them what food you're running, what specials you're doing, and as well as bring it back down to the basics. Let's say you're in an Irish pub. Very simple. Hey guys, this is our stew. It's one of the number one selling items we have on our menu. In our stew is beef. It's a cube beef that we use. We braise it down. We toss it with a little bit of seasoned flour. Then we make a roux. A roux is flour and butter combined. It's cooked 4 different stages. You give them an over amount of information. You literally overload them with information. Okay? And then after you're done with that signature dish, which we have on our menu, which we're never getting rid of, you then go into another item. By the way, guys, here's our special for tonight. What we're running tonight is this. We're going to do a whatever it is. We're going to do a seared Chilean sea bass. We're going to do a mushroom crust. We use shiitake mushrooms. We use an extra virgin olive oil to sear it in. I use a smoked Maldon salt because of this. I really educate them, and I talk to them like they're chefs, because I do not ever ever want any person who works in my kitchen, who works in my dining room, to ever come back to me and say, Chef, I need to know if you can do this. Because anybody who works for me, and you ask any waitress who's worked for me in the last 10 years, and I say 10 years because 10 years ago, or well, 14 years, but in the 14 years before that, I was not a nice guy. I was not the easiest chef to get along with. Yeah. I felt that I had to prove something, but anyway, to kind of get back, I educate my staff as far as I possibly can.
So it's
because when a waitress stands in a dining room and you as a consumer or a guest in my dining room says, hey, I really like the stew, but I'm allergic to onions, and that waitress says, well, hold on, let me check with the kitchen. Right. You just lost that sale. You lost that interest. Instead of, hey, I hate to tell you this, we do use a little bit of onion powder in there, plus we use a Vidalia onion, or we use a sweet onion or a Spanish onion that we add into that dish. Yeah. So I would like to suggest this to you instead. You just created a sale and a guest for life.
So it's worth every penny to educate your staff, Every penny. Because you know what? It's not like, it's not like I'm putting a fillet up every single night for my staff to try. It's not like I'm breaking out, the 3-pound lobster out of the lobster tank. Right. But what I'm doing is I'm creating dishes that my staff can take a look at. I'm educating them at the same time. And for me, I like to do one classic item that's on the menu, a signature dish, whatever that signature dish is. And then I like to do the features that we're running for the night. I do the same thing with a glass of wine, a single glass of wine. I'm not saying that I have to put out 10 different varieties. What I'm saying is, hey guys, this is a Cabernet. A Cabernet comes from this region of France. This is the grape that it is. This is how it's produced. Do you guys like that? Awesome, great. And then we do a cocktail. Hey guys, this is our Manhattan. Boom, boom, boom. You educate your staff by making one drink, one glass of wine, a couple of different specials, and your staff is going to sell the hell out of them. I agree with that 110%, man, and that's refreshing to hear that, because it's not always the norm in the restaurant businesses that I'm accustomed to, and it makes it difficult when it's not like that. Let me ask you this: does the famous mixologist from your podcast, your co-host Russell Davis, does he try to incorporate alcohol into any of your recipes?
Well, what usually happens is I end up just throwing back the cocktails that he's making and come up with a really awesome late night drunk dish. No, and do you know what's really funny about our relationship is the fact that, one, we haven't seen each other in a long time. We haven't seen each other in probably 2 years.
No way.
So, yeah, we just have a great friendship. We met on the set of Bar Rescue when we did a show in North Carolina. We met. We just created a great bond. We'll be out and people, I'll get recognized when I'm doing something, or he'll get recognized. The next thing you know, there's a FaceTime call coming through with me and a bartender. And I'm like, Russell, here you go. And he always obliges me, man. He has always, every late night FaceTime call that he would get, I think he knows that I'm either calling just to say, hey, what's up, brother? I love you. Or I'm going, dude, I got a hottie bartender standing right behind me, and she's dying to know that I really do know who you are. So,
That's awesome.
But what's happening is we're actually heading out to Reno next week. So Russell and I have a project that we've partnered up with owners of a restaurant out in Reno, as well as with our branding company, and we are rebranding their entire restaurant. So I'm not going to tell you the name of the place right now, but it's under #Reno Project. So if anybody wants to follow that, please feel free to do so, and you're going to get to see the whole progress and the whole progression of what it is that we're going to do. We're doing a massive transformation. So I will guarantee you this: I will be drinking a multitude of Russell's cocktails while I'm in Reno.
All right, Jay.
I'll probably throw some wings in the fryer or something, and he'll be cool.
I'm sure, right? Yeah.
All right. So, Brian, I just want to ask you, Chef Duffy, I just stepped out and called you Brian. Chef Duffy, I understand.
Have fun.
I heard that you like Budweiser beer.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of another brand produced by another brewer. It's cost so much skill and age. Our exclusive Beachwood aging produces the smoothest of taste and drinkability you will find in no other beer at any price.
But do you know what Budweiser beer, what the label actually means?
The word.
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay, hopefully you're holding one in your hand so you can see this, because it actually means because you enjoy.
No, because you deserve.
Because you deserve what every individual should enjoy regularly.
There you go.
There you go,
That's
dude. I never knew that.
Right? Yeah,
All I knew about that was Adidas. was All Day Long I Dream About Sex. That's the one that I remember, but I never knew I was going that far with Budweiser.
You know, it's funny that Homeless Chuck has something for Adidas. It's actually called Adidas, and it's All Day Long I Dream About a Home.
Ask him if he wants some advice from an 82-year-old man about sex.
Pops wants to give you advice from an 82-year-old man about sex. You game for that?
Please do.